As you already know, the sun is a very important part of our solar system. It is in fact what keeps us warm and gives us sunlight. The Earth rotates around the sun. This rotation takes about 365 days, which is what gives us our year. Now the Earth doesn't rotate straight up and down like this. It's actually tilted on something called its axis. Once you understand how it rotates like this, you can start understanding why we get seasons. We have two hemispheres, which is the northern and the southern hemisphere. Depending on the way that the Earth is tilting and the way where the sun hits it, you can start understanding what season it is. Let's take, for example, winter and summer. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun like this is when we have summer, because the sun is hitting more directly towards the northern hemisphere. And that's why we have summer, that's when it's warmer, and that's when we have longer days. But when it's tilted this way and the southern hemisphere is hitting the sun, then we get winter and our days are shorter. Now what about spring and autumn? That is when the sun is hitting not the northern hemisphere and not the southern. It's kind of in between, which is why it's not as cold as winter or as hot as summer.
Okay, so a solstice occurs twice a year, once on June 21st, which is the summer solstice, and again on December 21st, which is the winter solstice. So the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, and the winter solstice is the shortest. The summer solstice occurs when the Earth is tilted in this direction, and the sun is facing at that point, and then the winter solstice occurs when the Earth is on the other side of the sun.
The North Pole and the North Hemisphere face the sun directly. The first day of summer is called the summer solstice. When the summer solstice happens, the North Pole's rotation axis is what is at the sun directly, just like this. So when we're in the United States, the sun is going to be hitting us like this. Also at the same time is when the South Pole and the Southern Hemisphere are not facing the sun. This means in those places is winter time. The tilt of the Earth's rotation axis and the orbit of Earth around the sun are what give us seasons. Each season has its own solstice and equinox, like I just said previously with the summer solstice. This actually means that there is a maximum and minimum number of days that there is a tilt relative to the sun.
So twice a year, an equinox occurs similarly to the solstice. Equinoxes occur when the sun crosses the celestial equator and is when day and night last the same amount of time. So that's going to occur when the sun is facing the Earth like this, it's going to be in the spring, and then when it's like this, it's going to be in the fall. The spring equinox occurs on March 20th, and the autumnal equinox occurs on September 22nd. We also have these things called cross-quarter days, which are 4 days a year that are evenly spaced between the days of the solstices and the equinoxes, and they represent the middle of each season, a day in the middle of a solstice and an equinox. The days for 2018 are going to be February 2nd, May 1st, August 1st, and October 31st.
Okay. So, as you've already noticed, we have some days that are longer and some days are shorter throughout the year. You'll notice that our shorter days take place during the colder months when the U.S. is tilted away from the sun. So, because we are tilted away from the sunlight is less direct and doesn't reach as high in the sky, so therefore it doesn't have as far to fall or to come back down and set, making the days shorter. So, for example, if we go to December, we see the sun is here and follows along this path here. Therefore, it's not reaching as high in the sky. When we go to June, we see the sun has risen in the sky and it gets more direct sunlight, which means that it takes longer for the sun to fall or to set, giving us longer days.